Joined by the one and only KPOO Radio in the house. The truck, man. What's the word? Super Soul Radio, man.
Everything's cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting show. This will actually be the very last episode of Soul School Television. Not sad to say, kind of really just basically just tired. Just tired. It's been 6 years, it's been a good run. Actually, it won't be the last episode of Soul School Television, but probably like in the East Bay area, I'm gonna go ahead and hit some other markets and get into some other production deals. I've been pretty much, I've been publishing a book thanks to Ricky Vincent. I've worked with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Have contacts numerous all throughout the, from here to Japan and all over the place. So actually I'm gonna go ahead and probably hit some other business interests. And then probably when the football season starts, I'll probably be producing another show like what we did before, Raider Talk Raw, probably in the Oakland area, so you will get a little bit of me around. As you know, those of you may have been watching Channel 26, you know we were initially the first people actually to do the first Raider show when they first got back here before anybody. Matter of fact, that show Behind the Shield that you see on Channel 36 basically was our concept. And basically JT the Brick and George Atkinson were our first guests. So actually, I guess they basically called some people who actually had some money, basically took our show, and they actually ran with it.
They took it, huh?
They basically
but
took it.
Don't camouflage it. Say what they really did.
They stole her.
Absolutely.
They can't do it like us because basically, with the music archives, I have probably even a harder, archive of football. So, that they'll never be able to be, me.
That's right. Just let it be known.
Yeah, you have to, really love the game. Even like with, let's just say George Atkinson, I love him. He's a very nice guy. But he came to the Raiders in '68, man. I got footage on the Raiders, from Frank Ewell Field from like 64, 63. So, when they were playing over in Candlestick Park and stuff like that. So, really, that's a whole nother subject, another time. But, as far as Soul School Television, as we know it in the East Bay, after today, it'll be no more or less something really, really crazy happens, like somebody come at me with a multi-year deal, which is not going to happen.
Absolutely not.
And I'm not going to get, and I can't get into the begathon television thing as some other people do. I have a little bit more dignity than that.
Yeah.
I make enough money on my own. I can't get down with that, man.
And it's been 6 years, man. I can remember I was here. Spiritually, of course. I was looking through that lens, man, every Friday night.
Oh man, you were looking when we were tore up.
Yeah, I was up when
I got some equipment, man.
When they were sitting up by the him and Tyrone sitting up on the piano, man, talking, man. I was live, man. The baddest period of time for me, you talking about from September '95 to about August '96, man, because I was going through some stuff at the time as far as school and this and that, so I remember that because Soul School was the only vehicle I had to, be happy during the week. You understand? I mean, that was an incredible time for me.
That's an amazing thing because basically going through what I went through with my parents, the way we were raised, man, going back and forth to LA, separated, moving from out of a house into an apartment, into a one-bedroom room, then moving to LA to a nice two-bedroom, but having to fight my way to school, crossing, basically 9th Avenue past Adams to Washington. And then, to go to Thrifty's just to get some ice cream, you have to fight your way through Crenshaw, man. It was just crazy. And then coming back and basically within that time flunking probably about 3 times. Only thing that really kept me, flunked about 3 times, man. I'll say it, I'm proud of it. I got my education now, but man, without music, I don't know where I would be, man. Probably in the pen somewhere, man. Really like some of my other brothers, have actually have been, man. Music basically is, basically saved my life, and so really this show has really been kind of, a therapeutic type of deal, man.
Oh, absolutely.
When I talk to Charlie Wilson and James Alexander or whoever it is, Clinton them, and I tell them, hey man, thanks, because if it wasn't for you cats, you and Nile Rodgers and Maurice White and them, y'all cats was the fathers that I basically didn't have. It's not a BS thing, man. I like really mean it, man, because I'm telling you, where I was going, I was definitely headed to juvie, man. It just, you know, God, the higher power, man, the master was watching over me, man, through the music, man, allowing me to be really, you know, influenced. And that's why for the last 6 years, it's been no thing really to take money out of my pocket and, more important, away from my family, man. I've spent probably over, you know, between me and Mastan, probably at least, you know, 20 grand or something like that, man. Just trying to. Oh yeah, guarantee. Yeah, it doesn't look like it because it really doesn't, because I wasn't really into the equipment aspect of it. My whole thing was always buying the videos.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, the video.
And trust me, I know how you feel right now.
Yeah, man. You know, you're dealing with Group W, people owns Mike Douglas or whatever. They charge you $125 for the catalog. Then if you want to buy some old footage, you know how them old shows was, whether it was rock concert or whatever, they'll make you watch 80 minutes of BS, and then they will put the black act on last. And then basically, you get 3 minutes of Earth, Wind, and Fire and 86 minutes of something else that you really don't want. But the video is kind of like, you know, $300 or $400, sometimes $500, and it's kind of like you can't go in there pour mouth and being, you know, BSing basically, because the only people who call those kind of people are people who have money. And so, you know, Mug ain't really got a lot of money, but it's kind of like you got to get in where you fit in, man. So I can't, you know, I can't come in there begging and pour mouth, man.
But that's how you get access to people who happen to knock on your door.
Well, man. So we've been able to show stuff that you will see nowhere else, man.
That truly inspired me, man. I mean, I wanted to do something as far as with the music because I loved it, you know what I mean? But I had no outlet. When I saw Soul School one September Friday night, turning the channel, man, I saw George Duke on TV. Shit, that blew my mind. And I was looking for it all week. I mean, I didn't know the name of the show. Right. I saw these brothers on TV talking. I'm like, man, these cats on TV talking about, man. Put my tape in because Blue Magic was on. Then Kool and the Gang came on. That was like, man, it's like you know, we was initially attracted to each other just through that screen, man. It took me about 8 or 9 months after that I said, I'm gonna give this brother a call. I gotta get some of these videos. And he thought I was joking. He didn't call me back. You know what I mean? He was like, man,
well, you know our people, man.
This dude don't want nothing. You know what I mean? At the time, I had like.
I love our people, man, but sometimes some of our people can really be a trip. Some people, like I had one dude, man, and then we're gonna get to some entertainment, come back and talk about this, but I had one dude run into me on the street, man, pants hanging off, clown clothes, and he pointed, and he had kind of, you know, like a lot of these young brothers have this real fierce look about him, man, and I was kind of like, oh man, I gotta drop this dude. He ran up and, oh man, he kissed me, man, and he just like, man, Mom, you make my mother so happy, and blah, blah, blah. And the passion that was on his face, man, I kind of almost got teary-eyed. I was like, wow. When you realize you make a difference in somebody's life, man, there's no gift that's greater than that.
That's the absolute truth, man, because I was going through it at the time. Like I said, Friday night came around, I had to be in a room by myself. Look here, you know, I had to watch this show, I had to get into it because not only did you show videos, but you used to break it down as far as like, because you knew the individual. So you would get down to the history of the people. That stuff just blew my mind, man. I appreciate it, you know.
Welcome back to Soul School Television. In case you may have just joined, this will actually be my last show in the Oakland area. Kind of deep, not emotional or nothing, but before I forget, a few people I gotta thank. Jerome Parsons over at KPOO Radio, who was definitely an inspiration. I mean, he was definitely an inspiration. All the way from, you know, being a snot-nosed cat, wanting to be on the radio and just, you know, man. JJ, man. Nick Harper used to be my instructor at the Columbia School of Broadcast. He's also somebody that's very dear to me. The one and only Al Ballard from Soul Showcase. That dude, when I was going through all the political stuff with Channel 26, with the young lady who will go unnamed, who no longer works there, who didn't want to see us on, Al Ballard was the one when I didn't have any equipment that was just like, hey man, if you really want to get a show, You can do it. And he just kept pushing me and kept pushing me and kept pushing me. Matter of fact, it wasn't for Al Ballard, there would be no Soul School television, no doubt, because he pushed and pushed and pushed, and finally I kind of, you know, okay.
Al Ballard.
Yeah. My main man, James Rockefeller, who used to work over at Soul Beat, he also was another one who used to transfer stuff for me. When I didn't have a 3/4 inch deck, man, he used to, you know, go ahead and get it right from the record companies and come over, whether it was midnight or whenever. He's somebody actually was very, very dear. You know, a lot of other people, man, too many people to name, but actually this whole thing has always been an effort of a collage of brothers, man.
Don't forget your brothers.
Oh yeah, for sure, without a doubt. You know, Otis, when we were going to get the show opening made, I remember, man, it was basically raining and damn near hailing, man, and actually I didn't have a character generator or nothing. And this was kind of a determinant moment whether we were going to be on or not. And actually we went over in the rain in San Francisco and spent $60 to get a little funky opening made, man. We didn't know what we were doing, but we were in the studio actually getting that down. So yeah, Otis was very, very, matter of fact, it was really his idea, along with mine, actually really come up with the show. Brother Tyrone, of course, Mustan, who really kind of kept Mustan more so than anybody, because he kept it going when I basically got bankrupt. When I say I got bankrupt, was already a few $1,000s down, and Mustan was the one that just opened up his, not his checkbook, his cash book, because he's one of those Fred Sanford. And then the drawer opens up and then the money comes out and he's like, whatever you need, man. You know, matter of fact, Mustan was trying to help me make money at the Black Expo, put up the money.
I remember that.
$625 for the booth. We lost money. And boy, it was deep, man. And he still split, you know, everything with me, man. So Mustan, he'll never know how much I love him, man. You know, and also you, man. You was definitely a player, man, because that young energy, man.